motivational stories.
Thank you, Mario, so much. I really appreciate that was a good like drum rounding me in there. I really appreciate that. Are you folks able to see my screen at this time?
Yes.
So you guys can see the logo that's up there and everything. So quick little bio. I was born and raised Brooklyn, New York and Baltimore. I came from um kind of a broken home background, moved all around, and ended up joining the United States Army in 2009. I lived in New York during 9/11. I saw it out my classroom window. And prior to joining the military, I was homeless, living in New York City, having substance abuse issues. And I got it's about 3 months clean, and I ended up leaving for the Army. My father, he overdosed and passed away from heroin the week I left for the Army. And I joined up as a M1 Abrams crewman, which was a tanker combat position. 3 years later, I found myself in RC South Afghanistan, and I was a vehicle commander. And ironically, our job was poppy ratification. The area that we were in was responsible for producing 60% of the heroin into the United States at that time. So here I was previously being an addict myself, my father passing away from it, and now I'm a 23-year-old and I pinned sergeant in the poppy fields of Afghanistan. So I put my work in, grew up quick, um, got married when I was 21, had my son. My son was 6 months old when I left for Afghanistan. So I served from 2009 to late 2016, almost 2017, where I was medically retired for a heart condition. And I had no intentions on getting out. I grew up in it. My brain developed in it. It's what I knew. Coming from a broken background, my military service was essential to my development of who I thought being a man was at the time. It's what I knew. It's how I knew how to serve. It's how I knew how to operate, and it's all I did know. So from 21 to 29, while my frontal lobe's developing, I didn't know any other way of life. And a lot of individuals don't know that only 12% of the entire military is actually combat. So the combat um, branch of the military is a very niche group, and the mentalities that we're forced to take on to do the work we need to do, and then to have to adjust to the civilian way of life is not an easy task. And I was medically retired for a heart condition. I didn't intend on getting out. I was going to do my 20 years. So getting out, being forced to transition was a very difficult transition for me. I didn't have a plan B. I didn't know what I was going to do. Um, 2017, I got diagnosed with PTSD. Marriage fell apart to drugs, alcohol, and I was just becoming a statistic. Um, on average, you hear that 22 veterans a day take their life. And after my divorce and everything falling apart, I came very close to doing that myself. And I know we don't have too much time here, so I'll save the full testimony maybe for another time. But in a nutshell, um, the day that I was going to make the decision to take my life, I um, I had an intervention with an individual who didn't know he was intervening, um, but he was a fellow veteran. We had a little conversation. I didn't do it, and over the course of the next 2 days, I had two of my friends reach out, intoxicated. One of them already put the gun in his mouth, pulled the trigger. It didn't go off, calling me, and I saved two of my best friends' lives after almost taking my life the day before. So, with that being said, at the time of all this, I was a new believer, um, trying to change my life, trying to take a new wind, and I was like, we really got to do something about this. Something needs to happen, and I started reps for vets. So February 19th, I was going to take my life. By March 23rd, I had my program in the local gym, and we were shut down March 25th because of Corona. Um, I took the opportunity. I actually filed for my 501(c)(3). I got that in May. So February 19th, 2020, I was going to take my life. March, we're in the gym. By May 19th, I have our 501(c)(3). I wrote the White House every day. I sent them the same email talking about the dangers of isolation. Um, how, as a former non-commissioned officer, that's the first flag you look in people when they isolate as suicidal. behavior. And told them that 300,000 people a year die from obesity, 100,000 people a year die from alcohol. It was an average of 33,000 deaths a month. And they were projecting these numbers, all these people dying from the disease, but we could still go to McDonald's and liquor store, but we couldn't go to the gym or church, you know? And finally got an email back from the president. It was President Trump at the time. And he approved of what I was trying to do. And they put me in touch with the head of the mental health director for La Jolla VA. And all the mental health directors for the whole VA had to take a phone call from me. That was pretty much what I got out of it. And they made me the Imperial Valley representative of the Mental Health Advocacy Council for Imperial County because they didn't have a representative. So it's kind of like a BS title. But I took it and I got our program made essential and I got our gym open against the mandates for veterans to come exercise. So did that for about a month. I had people calling the cops on me. I almost went to jail a couple of times for going against the health code. But to me, people needed to exercise. And then a month later, I advocated for everyone's mental health. And we got our city went against the county mandate. And they said, well, if you open your business, we have to open all the businesses. And they opened our city against the county mandates. And this August will be 6 years. So that's a snippet of my why and how this got started. So moving on, what we are, we're a combat veteran ran and funded 501c3 nonprofit. We got funded in 2020, and our mission is to provide prevention, early intervention, and resiliency building strategies and a proactive approach to decrease the stigma and discrimination surrounding mental health in our community. So not only are we here to advocate to fight against suicide, we're here to help people with depression, anxiety, substance abuse issues. So it's a full mental health thing that we do. And our area is very rural where we are. We're a population of 185. The closest VA center to us is 170 miles away. So what we actually do, what we started, the meat and potatoes, is we cover 90-day gym membership for the veterans. Okay. So we cover the membership, so it's free to them. And they get 3 1-hour personal training sessions a week for 12 weeks. So that's 36 free sessions. And what our goal is, we're not here to be bodybuilders. We're not here to have testosterone and throw weight around. For us, it's not how you look, it's how you feel. And it's helping these guys find healthy coping mechanisms to deal with their PTSD and other things they have going on. When I got diagnosed with PTSD, the doctor wrote me about 4 or 5 different prescriptions. And he said, the best thing you could do for your PTSD is like go running or go exercise. And I just remember thinking, where's my prescription for that, man? Like, you're giving me all these pills and stuff. You guys want like have like a wellness program or something? And that's what really got me into this. And I've never been a fitness guy. I've never been an athlete. When I medically retired from my heart, they said I couldn't lift over 20 pounds the rest of my life without heart failure, due to a congenital heart issue. And I got up to, I was 41% body fat at only 185 pounds. So I went to the National Personal Training Institute to learn how to work out around my thing. And lo and behold, haven't had to have a valve replacement. Life's good. God's going to take care of me. But that's how I got into fitness. I've never been like a jock or anything. So coming into the gym at 29, 30 years old, it was a little intimidating. And I understand how that could be intimidating sedentary individuals that haven't been out. So what the program all in all is 90% of the guys we work with are very sedentary. They haven't been in a gym in years. And what we are a non-clinical peer support environment. So we're not just here telling these guys how to work out and teaching them how to design their own program. We have a sense of camaraderie and bonding that you don't get in a clinical environment. So instead of this person sitting across from a subject matter expert and feeling like they can't relate, they're here with other veterans that know where they've been and can help guide them through the processes of the things that they feel. And that's the beauty of it, is they feel comfortable and they feel a sense of camaraderie and brotherhood, and they really open up about stuff. So, here we go. This is a guide. It's pretty much everything I just touched upon. I don't want to sound like a robot to you guys. The gym, it's more than just a workout, it's a healthy outlet. These guys have a time and a place in a uniform that they have to be somewhere, which is very, very familiar to them. But not just that, they have accountability. They have people here that care about them. Hey, man, where are you at? What's going on? Is everything going good? It's almost that a very G-rated paramilitary sense of love, where these guys feel like this is familiar. Um, the benefits of fitness to release dopamine, endorphins, and just overall well-being, alertness. The first 4 weeks of the program, a lot of the guys come down with their heads down and stuff, but around week 4 or 6, you really see a significant change in confidence. Their heads up, their chest is out. They're very happy with what they're doing, and we give them their moxie back, if you will. Okay, um, right. So our impact since we started, we've had over 200 veterans complete our program. I also serve as a crisis intervention chaplain as well. We've intervened in 30 suicides. I've had guys literally see us on Instagram. Um, I'll have the front desk of our gym come up to me and say, "Hey, there's someone up front that wants to see you." I've never seen the guy in my life, and I went and talked to him, and you can just see him in their eyes, man. You can just see like there's something up, and brought him in my office, and he had his gun in his car. He was going to kill himself that day. So we literally had 30 lives that we've intervened. Unfortunately, we've lost two. It's not a perfect situation. I've lost two guys in my program. One of them being one of my former soldiers that I served with. So it's a real thing. I'll take 30 and two, but it just shows you that there's a real fight out there. And for years, I was certified as a crisis intervention chaplain, but we just completed our assist certification through assist for suicide prevention. It's a globally recognized certification. We were given that through the Wounded Warrior Project. Great course. We've also connected 23 veterans to housing for heroes. So working with these guys, not only are we doing the training program, we've also became the veteran liaisons for the county. So we have a lot of networking systems that we want to know these guys. Okay, are they struggling financially? How's mental health? What else do they have going on? So we can help connect you guys to multiple programs as well. So we're not only do we provide a program, we also do case management. A lot of organizations, they just do case management, referring people out. We actually provide a service and also help connect to other services as well. That's what really separates us from a lot of other ones. What Housing for Heroes is they cover a 2-year rental assistance program up to 50% of the veterans rent for up to 2 years, which is better relief when you're in a struggling financial situation. Between me and my staff, we have 70 years of combined military experience. We've connected 46 veterans to our local behavioral health. We got a contract with them 3 years ago to go out in the community and do outreach to break the stigma and discrimination against mental health. So not only we bring guys in the gym, we go out to the community, we go to schools, we go to law enforcement agencies, different environments where we give I guess you call it a brief seminar on our experiences and that it's okay not to be okay. It's just not okay to not reach out. With the law enforcement, we've kind of learned instead of using the word mental health, we say to be fully mission capable. We kind of use different wording for different stuff to get them to not feel that stigma of discrimination. And we have a local border patrol station here, and we've given our presentation, and you'd be shocked on how many guys hit us up afterwards that we've helped get detoxed off alcohol. People that were fully alcohol dependent, that if they went through their peer support, if they could lose their gun, they would never ask for help. But what we're doing is we have the ability for guys to reach out offline outside of the organization. We could connect them to the services that they would never be able to get. And they could trust us. And that's another thing too, with the 30 interventions, suicide interventions, I've never had a 50-50 anyone. So I have a really good reputation of being able to keep people safe without putting their business out there. You know what I mean? So they feel safe that, oh, if I go to this guy, I'm not going to get put away. And I'm very blessed that I've been able to do that. So that's what's really given me a lot of trust throughout the community and the county that people could come to us. We do have a faith-based portion, but we don't put that on anybody. We don't force that on anybody. We meet people where they're at. If they are interested, for example, if I'm doing peer support with somebody and they're a man of faith, I'll talk about God to use that support system. But if it's something they feel uncomfortable with, I'm not going to push an agenda on anybody. So I do what works for them. We do have a men's fellowship group that meets on Thursdays. I call it a fellowship group because we're not a Bible study. We don't study chapters. We just do a Bible verse of the week that we could apply to what we go through. And we just open the floor for discussions based off that verse. But that is optional. That's not mandatory through the program. We're definitely a judgment-free zone. We let the veterans know when we bring them in for the program, they provide a DD 214, and we bring them in. We call it an interview, but it's really so they can interview us, not so we can interview them. We want to make sure that we're a good fit for them. So let them know about our shared experiences, the things we've struggled with, so they don't feel uncomfortable opening up about their stuff. You know what I mean? Because it could be kind of awkward. Like, I don't really know this guy. I don't want to tell him these things. So we get vulnerable with our stories so they can understand, like, nothing you say is going to come across like, whoa, dude, like, that's too much. So we really get in a intimate relationship with them, if you will. And that really helps when you get to the coaching, is that you have a form of trust and that you really have their best interest. And we've had guys, as much as it's not how you look, it's how you feel. I've had guys lose 80 pounds in the program. I had one guy, he went from 46% body fat down to 16. So there are results of these guys getting in really, really good shape and getting excited to do it and not feel a sense of shame for where they came from, that you could, every day is a new opportunity to get better. Our outside people that we work with Veterans Village of San Diego for job certificate training. They have a grant out here where we help veterans if they want to be a phlebotomist, go to truck driver school, any kind of certificate courses free. Housing for Heroes, I mentioned earlier. We work with Imperial County Public Health. We're currently working with them right now. There was a new order that went down, and we're trying to come up with a suicide prevention plan for the county. Our county currently has no suicide prevention plan, which is a requirement of the state. So we're right now trying to put together something for that, for reps for vets to do the outreach portion, from everything from youth and young adults to law enforcement and first responder agencies. And then public health would work with the administrative, and then our behavioral health would work the clinical. So we work very closely with our local government organizations. And then we work with our veteran service office. As veterans, I'm 100% disabled combat vet. There's a different rating system for your disabilities. So the higher the rating, the more of your financial, not income, but money that they will give to you. So we help guys with their ratings. We work with a couple local churches, and you see on the bottom there, Woman Haven is a local nonprofit that helps women of domestic violence. So we also not work with just veterans, but their families too. Because us veterans tend to kind of put our families through the ringer sometimes, and they need help as well. Which we also help do walk-in referrals with behavior health with the families of the veterans as well. So our future project that we're working on right now, wanting to expand, doing what we've done with the veterans and the community out here. We've seen some other needs that they need other than just a training program. And we have a new program called Roofs for Recovery. We have 6 trailers that we got donated by the county. They originally had these trailers as COVID trailers for isolation, and we got them, and we had a perfect place to put them on a golf course. Nice, relaxing, green, which if you're familiar with Imperial Valley, it's hard to find green around here. It's the desert. And we made a deal. We locked in rent, prices, utilities, and we had a benefactor donate $25,000 to help us renovate these trailers to make them brand new on the inside. And we got them all renovated, got everything done, and we were getting ready. We were supposed to start in the beginning of June, and the manager of the golf course ended up pulling out because he was concerned of we have a lot of snowbirds that come down here during the wintertime, and there's a group from Canada that lives there, and they were concerned of homeless veterans being a risk to their environment. And So now we have 6 trailers, but we're trying to find land. We're trying to get funding to get land. We're kind of lost in the sauce. It really kind of threw off our plan here. But what the Roots for Recovery is it's a 6 to 12 month transitioning program. So currently we have the 6,500 veterans in Imperial County, which out of 185 total population, that's a pretty high population of veterans for such a small community. Our last community census, there's 41 actively homeless veterans in Imperial County, 41. And then there's about 15 to 25% of the overall 6,500 are at risk of being homeless, couch surfing, in between homes, things of that sort. So what we do is we identify the veterans, they come into the program, um, they have to agree to be sober, drug testing, no alcohol allowed. We then also put them in a healthy structured environment by we link them to the appropriate mental health services. So let's say they're homeless or addicted to fentanyl. We're going to get them detox. We're going to get them cleaned up. We're going to help them identify what conditions of mental health exacerbated that condition to begin with. Was it PTSD not being attended to? Were they suffering from depression? And let's get them the therapy that they need. Not just be a welfare program that's like, hey, live here and figure it out. Let's address the needs so you could be a better steward of your life moving forward. So we get them sober. We help them with their VA benefits and their disability rating so they can have some financial income. We then connect them to the job employment training certification so we can help find them jobs. And then we connect them to the Housing for Heroes. So the Housing for Heroes, once they graduate our program, so they got their mental health taken care of, their drugs taken care of, their finances taken care of. And then while they're in here too, they go through our 12-week wellness program as well. So they're also learning how to be healthy, how to exercise, keep their mind busy while they're in the program. We then transfer them to Housing for Heroes, which helps them find a rental property and covers the rent for up to 2 years. So after they cover that rent for up to 2 years, we do periodic check-ins with them to see how they're doing. And then at 18 months, depending on their financial situation, if they've been good stewards of their opportunity, we then help them get a VA loan and help them potentially get a house. So we literally are taking these guys from the streets, having them get all their to address their root issues, and then not just give them housing full of recovery and actually put them into a whole new house. So take them off the streets, get them fully rehabbed, put them in like a training wheel situation of a rental property. Here's the job. We're staying sober. You're doing a good job. With the VA loan, you don't need to have a down payment on a house. When I live in Colorado, I got into a $325,000 house in 2017 for $500. That was my closing. Brand new, 3,500 square feet. Can't do that nowadays for 325,000. But that is the current program that we're working on. So not only does it help with that, it also prevents repeat homelessness. We give these guys, a reason to live. It also does help with the suicide prevention because living on the streets, going through those situations, eventually it's very easy to feel like it's not worth it. And why am I here? I know that was a lot of information. So at this time, do we have any questions?
I have 3 questions.
Yes, ma'am.
First question is, do the participants have to be unhoused to qualify?
No. So there are 2 requirements. It's either they have to currently homeless or at risk of being homeless, meaning that they don't have a residence under their name, they don't have a lease. If we have a guy that's couch surfing, living with moms, and he's just going through it and he needs some time to take a break, then we'll take him in and help square him away and mentor them.
Okay. My next question is, do you have certified therapists on staff, or do you just refer them out?
So we don't have any clinical therapists on our own personal reps for vet staff. That's why we have our relationship with behavioral health to do the linkage to that. Meantime, that is something that we are working on doing to, especially to help be eligible for future grants down the road, is to have our own clinicians. We do see the benefit of that. It's just being able to have the resources to provide a salary for an individual of that caliber right now. So as of right now, we refer out, but we do plan on getting to that point.
Okay. And my last question is, what percentage of the 6,500 individuals that you were talking about are women?
What percentage? So here, out of our whole program, I can't give you because I want to give you like I don't want to give you a percentage and it be incorrect. Out of the 200 that we've served in our program, five of them have been women. Five women have came out and actually participated in our program. So the female population of that is a lot smaller, but they do exist and they do still reach out.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Brendon, this is Alan. So, this sounds excellent. Well, very practical and sounding excellent progress. By the way, you can stop the share and get
Oh,
the
sure,
people in
sure, sure.
the people outside now. There you
Okay, there we go.
go. But what I liked a lot about it is just the fact that you're moving forward in such a practical way and providing really practical answers for people. Because there's lots of theory about this and reference to other people, but you're actually making it happen. So I really got that out of your talk there. So well done on doing that. Um, you talked about the health, not the health, the fitness program, which initially is funded for 3 months. What happens after the 3 months? Do they have to find their own funding for that?
So with the gym that we work out of, upon graduation, the gym has covered they start covering another 90-day membership as a gift to them. So in total, long as they follow through with the program, they get a total of 6 months for free. And me personally, if we had, so this is something I started out of the trunk of my car. We used to sell these shirts to make money on the weekends to put guys through the program. We just filed for our first big grant through the VA. We won't have an answer till August. It's called the Staff Sergeant Fox Suicide Prevention Grant. So we're hoping. I don't know if we're going to get it or not. We're rolling the dice on it. Um, but when it comes to that, if I had my way and I just had endless amounts of funding, I would give these guys a free year. You know what I'm saying? There's so
Yeah.
much more that I would like to do than we are doing. Um, but I will say probably about 85% of the graduates we've had in the program, I still see them in the gym on the day to day. They've continued using it as their therapy. And I have guys that they've been sober for 3 years, all because they came into the program. And we even have we even have children. We have children of veterans that lost their life that still come to us as like mentors, and they visit us when they're home from school in college. One of the first fundraisers we ever did when I started the program is we lost a veteran here, and he took his life in his garage with his family home, and his son found him. And I met Anthony when he was 17 years old, and he just graduated from Palomar College and got his criminal justice degree and thinking about joining the Air Force to be a firefighter. And he also has like a successful DJ career, and he's trying to see which way to go. And he's doing really, really good. So we have a lot of alumni. We have a lot of people that this is like a home to them. So I'm sorry for the long-winded answer.
No, no, that's perfect.
We
That's exactly, yeah.
we would I would love to be able to provide to provide more. And not only provide more, I would love to be able to be at the point that we could have veterans that go through the program that are successful and they've really taken the fitness and take it serious, that I would want to pay for them to get their certifications and bring them on and be trainers within the program. So instead of hiring outside resources that aren't veterans or hey, we just need more trainers, actually have people
Mm,
that went through it that understand it be the ones to take on. And that's how we could grow to facilitate. Because right now, I'm only eligible to, I can only take on about six guys when we do a 12-week cycle because we do our training Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That only leaves me with Tuesday and Thursday for admin outreach, doing everything. I'm the director, this, I'm doing chaplain services. You know what I'm saying? So we really need to grow our staff. And it's me and Josh. Josh is my outreach coordinator. So he helps me too. So he'll take on six guys. I'll take on six guys, but we have so many obligations that the hard thing is we have people on a waiting list. So out of 6,500 veterans, 48% suffering from mental health issues. We've only been able to help 206 years. You know what I'm saying? So if we could bring on more staffing, more infrastructure to facilitate that, then we could definitely get a lot more done with what we're doing. We've kind of been going against the grain trying to get this done.
Yeah. The kind of help you're looking for, and that's where I was going next with my discussion about what kind of help do you need? And obviously you need money. That's always the case. But do you need would outside help for bringing people through the training also work for you? You know, volunteered help?
Yeah, I think like what is it, Miss Canlan? Is that how you say your name, man? Like how she asked if we had any clinicians, instead of us having to refer out to I'm very blessed and I'm grateful for Imperial County Behavioral Health. But at the end of the day, the county is into it. I know, so their clinicians are responsible for billing. I think it's like 70,000 a month. So they're just about numbers and getting people in. You know what I mean? And they got to do the right thing. And at the end of the day, if they're giving proper therapy, that's cool. If we could have somebody that's willing to help us out, and we could have our own clinicians that their hearts are really there and they're not just all about the numbers and just rolling people through, that would be phenomenal. If we had somebody that is a lawyer and they want to help us out pro bono with like, hey, this is a good idea, don't do this, that kind of stuff, just to make our staffing um more what's it called? Have those different pillars that we really, really need, on the administrative side. That would be really great. We have a great accountant. We have a good board getting together now. So those things are good. But when it comes to volunteering, I say be more so on the mental health, the clinician side, people that have those licenses, things that are very hard to outsource outside of using county organizations, that would be financial. And then if there's anybody that is just like an expert in marketing just to help us get the word out or so people know that we exist, things of that sort, or even just to mentor and be like, you ever think about doing this? Like when we're done living, we're done learning. So I've been winging this. Like I came into this, it all happened very fast, and it's moving at a pace I can handle. We're at our I have a 10-year plan. This is 6 years. We're kind of at where I wanted to be. My 10-year plan is coming up soon. I only got 4 years left, but my end all goal that I would want to do is instead of this being a national organization, because I get calls from Fort Hood, Texas, Fort Drum, New York. Hey, can you put reps for vets here? Can you put reps for vets here? But we can't be everywhere at once. And we can't control the quality of our staff at that kind of distance, right? So my dream is I want to be able to get to a point where we can get like a ranch, like 10-acre facility. Maybe I was thinking like Prescott, Arizona, or maybe somewhere where we're rural, it's peaceful, but we're only like 20 minutes away from the airport. And we could take these veterans and fly them in for the 90-day program. And not only fly them in, 2019, I was struggling and I had to put myself in a detox, right? Before I moved out here and I changed my life and found Christ. And trying to get the time off of work, trying to help find someone to help watch my son. I was a full-time dad. It's almost like you're not able to get away to get the help because of all your obligations. So
Right.
if we could get to a point where these men and women can reach out to us and they're like, oh, well, who's going to pay for this? Okay, send us your bank statements, show us your finances. I'm going to cover your mortgage, your car payments, whatever utilities for your family that you have. So you could come away and we'll give you a break. Let's give you a real break. Let's give you 90 days to breathe, get your life on track, get all the assets you need, and then send them back home with the tools in the bag. So that's my tenure. That's like my big dream is to be able to bring everybody in, give them that break if they are eligible financially and it's legitimate, and then send them back on their way, and then we can just keep it rolling. That's kind of
You,
the plan.
you mentioned that you almost sounded apologetic about only doing 30 suicide interventions. And then, unfortunately, as you said, two slipped away,
Yes, sir.
which shows the reality, reminds us of the reality. I'm a strong believer if I can help one person, that's pretty good. And then I've got other friends on the screen here, and they'll help one person, So what you're doing, the fact you've done 30 interventions in your time is absolutely phenomenal, and because every one of those is a person.
I appreciate that. The one, I mean, they were both very difficult. One being the guy that was in my program. It was his second time in my program. He was one of my first 30 veterans when I first started. He lost 80 pounds. He was doing great. Went through divorce, brought him back on. And at this time, I was so spread thin trying to do everything that I brought in an outside trainer. And this is why I was talking about having a trainer for internally. He wasn't a veteran, but he was a retired baseball player, professional. People loved working with him. But he's not a veteran, you know. And I would come in the morning, and I would say his name was Eric. His name was Eric Rodriguez, and I would see him every morning, 8 a.m. And I'd say good morning on the way to the office. I got to check my emails. I got to do this because now I'm doing all the staff and stuff. I was the one that was down there training these guys. I was the one picking up on the flags and the signs before. But now, because I'm trying to grow while providing a service to give these guys what they need, he said it to me a couple of times that, hey man, can we get a workout in like we used to? And I was like, yeah, man, just hit me up, send me a text, we'll figure it out, you know. And he told me a couple of times, and I didn't pick up on it. You know, I didn't pick up on it. You know, he's like, no, man, it's cool. I know you're a busy guy, you know. And then he dropped his kids off at school and parked in his driveway and shot himself, you know. So that one, and people that go don't take it personally, it's kind of hard not to. You
Yeah.
know, when
Yeah.
you're running a program for suicide prevention, this guy's reaching out to you and it goes over your head, you know. And that's when I talk about why the staffing is so important, is because I want to get to the ability where I could get back to being intimate with these guys and being there and not just trying to run everything. So staffing, like really good quality staff, is really important. And yeah. So, and then the second one was one of my previous soldiers that I was helping for about 6 months, and he just ended up finally succumbing to, you know, his demons and unaliving himself. And that one was really unfortunate because he was one of my soldiers in Afghanistan. First time we were in a firefight, it was me and him together, and you know, losing him was um, very hard. I got him, I wear him right here. And, he got out of the army March 24th and took his life April 24th, 30 days after getting out. He did 18 years. He was a sergeant first class. He was almost getting ready to retire, and he got out for alcohol and PTSD. And yes, that one was hard. But like you said, it's the reality of it and why we do what we do.
Well done. Yeah.
Do you
Mm.
have do you have a website? I'm sorry that I haven't looked.
Uh-huh.
I own my laziness. I haven't looked.
Yes. So we do have we have our it's repsforvets.org.
Okay.
And then we actually have a new one that we're developing. That's like I got that one made when I first started. We have a new one that I will give you. Just please understand we're still making some adjustments to it, but it's repsforvets.net.
Okay.
We're just putting the finishing touches on that, but that's the one I would prefer for you to check. That's our most like current, like this is us.
New and
Um
improved one.
One looks like GoDaddy.com and the other one actually looks like we do something.
I'm with you. You should
Yes.
if you don't have a help wanted page, because you've expressed all these things you'd like to have, and you
Mhm.
put it out there in the universe. If you put it out in the universe strong enough, you're going to get it. And you got to be real careful what you ask for, but
I believe that.
you got to get it. So I'm visualizing this website, and I'm visualizing success stories, and I'm
Mhm.
visualizing, your path, your tools, and I'm visualizing a page that's help wanted. That if you're looking for attorneys, you're looking for these different skill sets that would help fill your basket, you might want to just go big or go home.
Exactly. I definitely shoot for the top, that's for sure. And
Yep.
I'm not gonna take a no for an answer.
Yep.
Hey,
Yep.
Rudy, you had a question.
Hi, Alan. Um, so first of all, I just want to thank you for your presentation today, for your commitment, for your passion, your sacrifice. We all need more people like you, and God bless you for what you're doing, first of all.
Thank you. God bless you too.
Um, Thank you. So you may have mentioned this in your presentation, and I may have missed it. But I'm a marriage and family therapist myself. I have a a veteran client who I've known for many years since he was a kid, and you know, through his adulthood, he would see me on occasion. And shockingly, he also committed suicide 3 years ago, and it was like you, it was like I thought things were going okay, and it was very, very tragic, very traumatic for me as a therapist, and I really thought I failed him. So there's a ripple effect when this happens, and I totally get it. Um, so the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm wondering about you have the vet, but then you have, you know, the extensions, the family members. Is there family therapy? Is there group therapy? Are there programs to support the peripheral connections to the vet?
So just so I can understand, do we have a system in place for the family as well?
Yeah, family
Yeah.
members, family therapy, things like that.
Yeah, so with our partnership through behavioral health, we if you go on our Instagram, we did a video. They have a walk-in clinic called Casa Serena. They're open Monday through Sunday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And when we did the video before that, a lot of like the law enforcement agencies, things like that, they have their own what's it called? Like the family owners could go get help, but there's a stigma attached to that because it's like, oh, guess who so and so's wife came in, things like that.
Right, right.
So we offered them Casa Serena as an outside resource that no one's going to really know them that they could go to get that help. So if you're,
I see.
you know, yeah, so if you're a family member or spouse of you know, because we don't work, it's not even just veterans now. We also work with law enforcement and first responders. So, you know,
Mm,
if you're the wife of like a CO or a fireman and that fireman's drinking heavy, you don't know how to handle it and things like that too. Um, we offer that resource, and we've even been brought in to do they had a really rough suicide. There was a seventh grader that hung himself before Christmas this year,
mm,
and the fire department had to respond to it, and a couple of police and the fire chief asked us to come out to do the debriefing instead of
mm,
county behavioral health because
mm.
the department works for the county, so that man, they're not going to want to talk to county people. They want to see that they have a
Sure.
problem. So they asked us to do the debriefing with these guys, and
Mm,
you know, that was, I'm glad we went. Of course, nobody said anything when we were there, but as we were leaving in the parking lot, the chief came and said, "Hey, you guys got a minute? Someone wants to talk to you." And it turns out that guy just spent the last night waking up in the field after drinking all night because he's having PTSD from the event, you
mm.
know, and then finding
Wow.
out that, yeah. And so, you know, he remembering the smell of, like, you know, the turkey, the wrapping of the presents, you know what I'm saying? And
Oh, of
the
course,
kid, yeah,
yeah.
and the
Association.
child
Yeah.
and the child, he hung himself in his closet. And
Mm,
so, you know, and then that family, you know, they needed to reach out, and you know, they needed help as well, you know. So we have a very good relationship with the Department for Youth and Young Adults as well,
okay.
with behavioral health. I know that the director personally, I have him right here. He's a great guy. So we do have a system in place of networking. Like I said, personally, as clinicians, no. But we have also been there for the children. Like, for example, when Eric passed away, that got veterans in my program, he left behind it was 14, 16, and 19-year-old
Oh,
at the time. And you know, my outreach coordinator, he lost his father to suicide when he was 7. He found his dad. And
mm,
so we've just felt that we had to go talk to these kids. You know what I mean?
mm.
Like
Yeah,
we had to
yeah.
go talk to them, and we had to let them know that, you know, their dad, the individual that did that wasn't their dad, because their dad loved them very, very much. And just to kind of be there to help them process things. And that was
Sure.
one of the most
I
difficult things
know.
I've ever done
That's what
in
I
my
was
life,
thinking. Yeah.
is seeing those kids. And we offered for a while, we were like picking them up from school, bringing them to the gym, you know what I mean, trying to give them that extra effort, and
Mm,
give them that support for as much as we know how. But that was just, I'm not certified for that. I mean, I couldn't imagine, you know, if my boy
right,
lost me, what that would feel like. So that's just out of
right.
you know, the what's it called? He's just trying to serve, man. You know.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate you.
Brendan, I'm just wondering, and Rudy and Grace, maybe you can weigh in on this as well. I mean, the lack of the number of actual clinicians and stuff, it's a there's just not enough providers, it would seem. And I'm just wondering, what's the veteran view of telehealth, and is that something that
Hmm.
is a
Yeah.
possibility, or is it, how is it viewed within the veteran community to potentially use that as a way to leverage, access to additional clinicians?
When I say something about that as a veteran,
Yeah, yeah, please. That's,
Yeah.
I
I
would
can
like,
answer that
yeah,
for you.
I'll start
Yeah.
with you.
Um,
Yeah.
um, so it was about probably 2.5 years ago. Um, Last time I was kind of going through because it comes and goes, and by the grace of God, I've recovered a lot, and some of my old demons were coming back, and without saying I wanted to take my life and to have to go through that 5150 process and saying, hey, I want to make an appointment to talk to somebody. I want to get back into counseling for PTSD. It took them almost 2 months to process the referral. And then
Mm.
and once they actually processed it, our first two, and I requested to see someone in person because I was like, if I'm gonna get this intimate talking about these things, like I want to be in the room with the person. I wanted to actually feel some kind of way. But that's my personal thing. Maybe not all veterans are like that. And they
Mm.
said that the VA said the only way they could provide that is if they had no Zoom meetings available. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have Zoom meetings available. So I was forced to take a Zoom, but I needed the help so bad. I was like, okay, I'll go with it.
Mm.
And our first two times actually meeting each other and having the Zoom, our first two sessions were taken up by technical stuff, how adjusting this and just to even we even get
Mm.
anywhere. And
Mm.
then by the time we established a relationship and she had diagnosed me, with depressive disorder and all these things and come up with emergency plans, um, it was hard for me to relate to her because she had like these blacklight posters of like Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix and all this stuff. And I'm just thinking of like,
Wow.
and I'm just thinking of like, the things I've seen, and I don't want to be too like, but I'll just be honest, this is what came to my head is like, what does this lady know about seeing, dead Afghan soldiers in the back of a truck? You know what I'm saying? So I'm having trouble relating with this lady. And I just got my knuckles tattooed at the time, and they're very strict on you can't eat, can't drink, you can't be driving, you have to be paying attention, right? And I was in my bedroom. I got up with my phone and I put lotion on my hands. They were dry and I had to put lotion on the ink. And she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, putting lotion on my hands. And she's like, so if you're in my office, would you get up and put lotion on your hands? And that was
Whoa.
it.
Wow.
I was just,
Oh my
I was
God.
just like, we're
Ah.
done. So my experience personally,
Mm.
but um, my outreach coordinator, Josh, he's had a great experience with telehealth, and he's had the same psychiatrist, I think, for 12 years now. And he's never met her in real life, and he has a great relationship. You know what I mean? So, I'm not just gonna. I think it could go either way. I think it's individual dependent.
Yeah. You can get a bad therapist online. You can get a bad therapist in person. Um, and the connection in the beginning is essential because, especially for the population that you're in, trust and safety and relatedness are really, really important. And you guys can pick up on whether or not you can send someone that they get you. So that initial meeting is really, really, really essential. Yeah. And telehealth can be a barrier.
I'd like to jump in real quick because I have to leave at 4 minutes. And just quickly, very impressive what you've been able to accomplish, Brendan, with
Hmm.
sounds like very little funding. Be happy, maybe we should talk about that a little more in depth at some point. I did want to, I'm uh, co-chair for the media subcommittee for the Suicide Prevention Council, and a lot of our work at the Suicide Prevention Council is involved with creating and creating the action plan and networking organizations. A lot of veterans groups that attend the meetings, and so I'll shoot you the information. I don't know if you've ever been to a San Diego County Suicide Prevention Council meeting or not, but I think they do hybrid meetings. So I think it could be beneficial to you to at least network, see it, and I'll shoot you a copy of our action plan, which is I don't know how many 30 or 40 pages, give you some ideas of what
Sure.
you guys might be want to look at in Imperial County. But very impressive. Thanks for
Yeah.
your presentation.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
that would be great, especially if we could like have that linkage from Imperial County to San Diego County. And I know there's not too much in between, but just to know that we could have that bridge connected and vice versa, that would be phenomenal.
Great.
Thank you.
I think that's the one good thing, Brendan, with this, it's the Rotary District encompasses both counties. And so, we have people on the call that are from both counties and even beyond with Grace. But uh, that's something I'll make a commitment as well. I would like to follow up with you. And I know Mario and you are also in contact on a regular basis, but
Mhm.
there might be things that we could be looking at as the Rotary District and how we might be able to support, what you're doing. And I think that I think we would certainly want to figure that out. I think I can see some things that where there'll be some opportunities. So absolutely. And from my side, yeah, I would just like to thank you for the presentation. It was really well done, and what you're doing is incredible. There's no question.
Yeah.
And some way to be able to extend what you're doing to additional veterans is there's no reason that we wouldn't want to do that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Any
much.
other
Like I said,
questions, or Brendan, I'll let you close it out.
um, my last statement I really want to make is that what I've learned is that veterans, it's about veterans taking care of veterans at the end of the day. And we need outside resource and outside hope, but it's having those shared experiences and seeing somebody else. I mean, so when I was a young private, my sergeants that I respected, I went in 2009. These guys were already in Iraq, Fallujah, Ramadi, and seeing these guys that they went through that and they came out on top and that they could show me how to survive and show me how to go. You know what I mean? I respected them. So now that we're out, me and my associate, we have the ability to provide that same variation of people being able to see hope, that if they could do that and they could see this. So I want the community to understand how essential it is to have that peer element. Now, there is things at the end of the day that are out of my pay grade. If I have a guy that's schizophrenic or um, borderline personality disorder, different things like that, or he's manic, then you know what? He probably needs medication. And the gym's only gonna do so much and he needs a doctor. You know what I mean? So I'm all about modern medicine as well. And I'm also about there could be a faith side that could help this. Let's use all the tools we have. I just want the importance of veterans with shared experiences that are able to provide that hope and that help. That is a big piece of this missing puzzle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you for your time and taking time to listen to what I had to say. I really appreciate that as well.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate the presentation, and I think we've all learned a lot from it as well. So thank you very much. Thank everybody for attending. And with that, we'll sign off. Thanks again.
Thank you, guys.